Hi Gilbert, I wanted to go over your rough draft with you. I know you didn't have the second draft in, but we did want to give you some feedback on the rough draft so that can help you as you're getting your ready for your final draft. So let's go ahead and get started. Nicely done in the MLA formatting. This all looks really good. This looks really good. You use Times New Roman, size 12. The only thing we're missing right here is a title. You want it to be centered, double spaced after the date here, and then double space, and then you'll have this. Think of a catchy title, something that's going to draw the reader in. And one of the things that we want to think about with your introductory paragraph is we want something to kind of catch the reader, kind of grab us in. And I think this is a really good start. Maybe you might want to actually, this isn't too bad. It's a good grabber to kind of get us started, but then what you need here is your thesis statement. You want to include the point that you're making about teenage brains and make the point from the article that you read. And then what you want to do is relate that to Jack Gantos. So did you see the behaviors in Jack Gantos that were discussed in the article? And so you want to use that to make your point or your thesis statement. And then the other thing you're going to want to include in this as part of the prompt is whether or not you believe that adolescents, because of their teen brains, if you believe that they should have the same punishment as people who are adults and have, brains that are fully formed and understand risks or should understand risks. So those two things need to be here. As of this point right now, there really isn't a thesis statement, and you want to make sure that you do that. Now, the second paragraph here is a really good start on a summary. Remember, Dr. Horn was talking about how we want kind of a summary paragraph so that we know what the book Hole in My Life is about. We want to be able to connect with Jack Gantos, and so the more we know about him, the better off we are. You want to italicize Hole in My Life. Anytime you have a book, it's italicized. I thought you had a really good start here. What you want to do is add a few more important events, and maybe events that highlight Gantos's the choices that he makes, since that's what the article is about. Okay, you did a really good job here. You've got the article in quotes. You should probably put the article's name here so we know who that is. So just say the author, blah blah blah, blah, and you've got that done. I have to tell you that I do not understand this quote, and I know a couple of other people used it, so I think it needs some explanation. Teens actually tend to overestimate rather than underestimate the true risks. Does that mean that they overestimate and therefore don't do something because they think it's too risky? And if that's the case, then that doesn't necessarily fit Jack Gantos, does it? Or do they overestimate maybe the potential benefits from something and then underestimate the risks? I just don't understand that one. I don't understand that quote. And if I don't understand it, then other readers aren't going to understand it either. So right here, you're going to want to put an explanation of that quote before you give this this example from the book. You're starting a really good pie paragraph here. This right here is the point you're making. You're giving us an example from the book, and then what you want to do here is then explain how that example relates back to the research. That's your E in a pie paragraph. So kind of be thinking about that, and you want to do the same thing here. 40% of adult alcoholics report having their first drinking problems. Is this because of between the ages of 15 and 19 they have risky behavior? How is this quote related to the teen brain? So remember, we're always focusing on teen brains and how that affects the choices that the teens make. So you may want to add another quote in here regarding what that research says, and then all of this will make more sense. Okay? Again, another good example here, but we want to think about how it fits in with teen brains in the article. So the way I look at it is when you write a paragraph, you want to do three things. You want to make your point, and your point being usually maybe what the article is telling us about teen brains. You want to give an example from the book Hole in My Life that is an illustration of that. And then finally, you want to explain how the two are connected. So think about that with a pie paragraph, okay? I'm doing a good job here. You got some good quotes. Again, I keep saying, how does it fit in with the research article? And then you have a really nice conclusion here. Maybe you might want to add in here, what have you learned? What has this research taught you? What has reading about Jack Gantos's life taught you? And those are some things that you want to think about. Nicely done, works cited. I'm sure this wasn't your fault. Sometimes when we just upload, make sure that that's all on a separate page. And when a citation goes onto two lines, the second line is indented. We call it a hanging indent. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how to do that. Otherwise, you've got a really good start, Gilbert. I would strongly recommend you going to the Writing Center again and having them help you out too as you're getting through this. Well done. Take care.